just like the title of this video says, I'm gonna try to get to the point as soon as possible once I fix my chain. So you're thinking about getting into MMA and you don't know where to begin. You're asking a lot of your friends that maybe do MMA and you're not really getting the answer to your question. So in a nutshell, there's going to be a couple steps that you'll need to take to get into MMA. So the first step that you'll need to take is getting your training on for the gym. A lot of people think that you can just go into the gym, into an MMA gym, and that everything is going to be nice and dandy and it's going to be fine. But I think the reality of thing is that if you want to be successful, because you can do that, trust me, you can do it, but it would be recommended by me and maybe just some other people too, before you just initially smack that into an MMA gym. Maybe train before you get to the gym. You're gonna want to do a lot of jogging, sprint jogging, interval kind of jogging is what I call it. So it'd be nice to do some sprint, jog, and work on keeping your cardio, your breathing, your respiration up, high, intense, calm, up, high, intense. Burpees will also help you a lot because the motions that you're gonna go through in MMA are gonna be a lot of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking combined. So you're gonna be changing levels a lot of the time from ground to middle to up high, back into striking. And in order to get that endurance back up, you're gonna want to do exercises that will challenge you going up and down, up and down. You're gonna wanna be drinking a lot of water as well. Otherwise, your first week, and this is all together, your first week and a half, you're gonna be probably very sore after the first couple of sessions. That's perfectly fine and perfectly normal. You're probably gonna be bruised up a lot more than often or than ever before. And that's just simply because your baby body is soft and you're not used to it. They're gonna have to bang you up a good bit before your body toughens up, and also before that water gets in under your skin and your muscles have a little bit more padding to them than before. So for beginners, you don't know, and hopefully if you're really interested, you stick around for this video. I guess what really just qualifies me, I've wrestled pretty much all my life. Got some training in jiu-jitsu, even though I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu. Don't let that fool you though. I got striking training. I mean, I've done Muay Thai, karate, and kickboxing at my recent gym, or kickboxing, all the above pretty much essentially. If you combine them all, probably I've got about 5 years experience in the striking aspect, and then wrestling, you know, since I was like a kid, like 6th grade kind of thing. Anyways, so what do I study? What martial arts should I pick up on? Is Kung Fu productive in my fighting? Should I study Wing Chun? The answer to that is everything and anything, and you should start with a foundation style and then work on that. You're gonna need 1 grapple and 1 striking. The reason I say that is because, well, if you're gonna do MMA, you definitely need 1 grappling and 1 striking. Whether you choose wrestling or whether you choose jiu-jitsu, big wrestling, it doesn't matter essentially, because you're going to end up doing both eventually down the line, and it will impact the way that your combative style is seen or the way that you approach. A wrestler is going to be a little bit different than a jiu-jitsu guy. It's just how it is. It's just exactly the way it is, and there'll be another video at a later time describing the difference for that, but that's a whole nother thing. Get a grappling first. Say you don't know what you want to do. Well, anything is better than nothing. You're gonna have to learn jujitsu at some point because you're gonna do submissions. So regardless, you're gonna be training jujitsu anyways. So most likely you'll get into some jujitsu. So let's just say you get jujitsu, cool. Well, now you need a striking. It doesn't matter whether you do, it could really be everything. What is most beneficial? Well, if you can find a gym that teaches you kickboxing, but you get both knees and elbows incorporated in there, that's a great martial arts gym because they're teaching you real life scenario, and they're also teaching you what it's like going to be in the cage, whether you're amateur or pro. And again, that's a whole nother other thing to get into at a later point, but you still haven't got to the gym yet. So should I do Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, karate? That's all I suggest at this point. It varies upon who you are, and what your striking style is. You won't really know that until you start fighting. So I suggest kickboxing as a really good base. You can't go wrong with knowing how to just throw your hands if you know nothing, and how to throw your legs if you also don't know anything. That is a good place to actually start. And once you get that foundation going, you're gonna know how to pop, 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 leg kick, shoot, right? Or pop, 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 close the distance, grapple, grapple, inside grapple, shuck 'em, guillotine, whatever it may be, right? That'll teach you at least those two. You'll have the primary styles for MMA. Once you have that, you can add on to that. But in the beginning, what you're gonna wanna do is not be the guy that, pick the good guys for sure. Pick the people that will challenge you and that seem to work the most efficiently and productively. Try to, because at first they're gonna probably put you into groups with other people that are just as special as you are. And that's okay. Work on one move at a time and focus on that. Then you can do the rest. But once you're able to mesh with other people, pick their brains, and you're gonna want to not, I mean this specifically, not be the guy that goes out there and tries to be tough. I mean be tough, right? And work hard. When you do conditioning, work very hard at what you are doing. Do everything coach says or everything that your instructor says. Do it right, do it tight. Work on your technique at first. Speed comes later. But do not be the guy when they let you roll or live wrestle or spar that finds your superior, someone who's better than you clearly by a lot, and try to knock his head off. Do not be that guy. Maybe be that guy once to feel the experience, but do not be that guy constantly unless you are ready for the power of the pain. Because it's almost seen as disrespectful in a sparring situation for your, what's that called, that word? Senpai. Your elder per se, your master per se, your coach. You don't want to knock your coach's head off. You don't want to knock Senchai's head off. You want to take that experience and let him dictate almost the pace until you find the pace. If you immediately go into knocking his head off, he's going to knock the shit out of you. And you're going to feel real pain. And maybe that's what you need. That's why I say maybe try it. Try it here and there. That's okay. But unless you're making it known, like, I'm gonna up the pace, don't necessarily up the pace yet because you're so young in the game. You're still fresh and you may be doing things wrong, and really it's for your own better. I don't want you to get hurt. Throwing a kick wrong, and when you throw it wrong, it gets elbowed, right? And your ankle gets just snapped. You don't want a hard injury. You don't want to be wrestling really, really hard and not know what you're doing, post your hand out on a return, and then your elbow is snapped backwards, because that happens. And it's not their fault, it's no one's fault, and you signed a waiver, but now you're in the heat of pain that was unnecessary. Start slow, learn the ropes, learn the rules, and then start adding some speed to it. Speed comes with technique. Smooth flow first, speed comes later. Technique first, speed comes later. So in a nutshell, if you want to start training MMA, I suggest you train first your cardio and try to push yourself to an extreme that you are unknown to, because that extreme is nowhere near the extreme they're about to push you to when you get there. It's gonna feel very different. See, wrestling conditioning, MMA conditioning is way different than any other condition in the world. There's no other conditioning. You can't run and achieve MMA conditioning. You can't run and achieve wrestling conditioning, maybe jiu-jitsu conditioning, but not wrestling conditioning or MMA conditioning. It's just unheard of. It won't happen. But train yourself before, try and push yourself before, so that when you get there, at least you're used to mentally pushing yourself, and then it won't be so hard. Don't go hard on your senpai. Learn the ropes first. That goes along with not going hard, because technique first, then speed. Technique first, then become a beast. Don't just suddenly see red. It's not necessary. You don't need it. Those are, I think, a good amount of tips. You heard that whole video, then I think you're probably on the right track. If you have other questions, let me know, but just be careful and have fun. Ask questions. There is no stupid question. So ask questions, but don't be an idiot. Don't be rude. Have respect for other people. This sport is a very dangerous and violent sport that hurts many, many people. And many people that do this sport are very dangerous, and capable of violence people. But one thing you will learn in this sport is that those dangerous and very violent, capable people have the utmost control over themselves and others when it comes to emotional states, physical states. And 9 out of 10 times, if you're good, if you're genuinely good, you will never see a fighter fight outside of that gym unless he's genuinely in the cage. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, because there's always a knucklehead, and he's always that guy. But 9 out of 10, you'll never see a real fighter fight outside of the gym, on the street, in a brawl, or because his chest is out. And that's another conversation for another day. But the sport humbles you, and it teaches you that you're not as tough as you think that you are, and it makes you double think things and see yourself as a vessel for growth and learning opportunities and self-development. We aren't in competition with each other at the same time we are, but we're not here to hurt each other. No one in there, you're not gonna wanna hurt each other. You're gonna wanna grow. Sometimes you'll hurt each other, and that comes with the sport. But a lot of these people know how to control who they are and that violence. It's honed, perfect, directed violence. And when you stick around, you'll learn those traits too. So have fun with the sport, because it's a great sport to learn. It's a great opportunity to become another person, both spiritually, intellectually, physically, and emotionally. This will teach you a lot about yourself and others. Abilities to strategize under pressure and abilities to conquer and seize the day when the opportunity arrives, when the opportunity presents itself. So, thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm gonna start trying to post some more videos as we go and as time flies by. If not, I may even, if I feel inspired, I may post something else later today. So I hope this helps someone out there. I know that many times I didn't know where to start myself. Actually, I lied. I always knew where to start. It's like it was part of me. But some people, it's not that simple. Some people ask questions and they don't know the answer, but here's your answer. So, peace out, guys.